Now, Willie, I want to know, how did you get the role of Alton Martin on No One Knows Best?
Uh, how did I get the role? Good question. Nah, honestly, we just auditioned pretty much. Is what the thing was. Prior to me joining no joining the cast of Noah, I was casted briefly on Nickelodeon and all that, but that didn't fall through because my manager at the time wasn't really feeling Tolan Robbins, the production company. So when I left my management, um, Nickelodeon called me and was like, "Yo, there's another project. I want you to take a look at, which we like a lot. It's called Noah." So they allowed me to audition and met a bunch of producers, met Ken and the rest of the group, and it was on like Donkey Kong ever since then.
Yeah, because I'm going to guess the pilot was shot in 1999, I'm going to guess. Or,
That's a good question. I'm not really good with years, but somewhere around then, yeah, because we didn't finish like the project until like I think 2001, 2002. But like I said, I'm not good with years. I just remember it happened.
yeah, because I remember when we talked, there were cast changes because Edwin Hodge and Aldous and his brother, they were played one of your younger brother on the show.
And you know what's the most ironic part about this whole thing is that they're probably more successful all of us right now.
Yeah, like the Edwin, he got the Purge coming, the Purge movies, As Above, So Below, all that junk.
Yeah, Leverage and they've been on Supernatural. They've been killing it. But I mean, but they've been killing it ever since then. Like I knew the Hodge brothers before then, like over at AGC. AGC is Amazing Grace Conservatory, ran by Wendy Raquel Robinson, and like here in LA. And it was basically a really cool opportunity for uh, us African American youth to get together that was actually already doing stuff. So Angelique Bates, Alfred Jackson, myself, Megan Good, Christina Milian, quite a few people that we just all got together and just did our thing. You know what I'm saying? So it was real cool. It was lots of love. So and provide a platform to do musical theater, which is what I learned from and what I started down in San Diego with. So that's how I got in the industry was musical theater.
So you found
Yeah.
out you were going to be moving to Orlando, Florida, where the Nickelodeon Studios was at. And what was your first impression of the place, first of all, when you got there?
Man, first and foremost, whoever decided to kill that place, slap yourself 3 times. Because when they decided to tear down freaking Nickelodeon Studios Orlando, it was a very difficult day for myself. I mean, it wasn't difficult. It was a place with a lot of memories. It was an amazing, very enchanted place. You know, all of the shows that were filmed there, and just like that represented like at the time you couldn't you there was like there was Disney World,
Hmm.
but you didn't know where Disney Channel was shot. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no visual point of reference as a kid just watching TV about where Disney Channel was at. Like I can go to it and all the above. But Nickelodeon Studios Orlando, Florida, you knew where everything was being shot at. Double Dare 2000, the Slime Time, the Tower, and I mean, all of that goodness and gooiness was just incredible, and it gave an opportunity, especially for our fans, to really get a chance to be a part of television, and it was television history, and it was great, it was incredible, but I mean, honestly, it inspired me to do my own thing. I created my own network called G Block Network coming on Fox soon, and I'm hoping to hopefully one day we open our own theme park where we can do exactly what we did out in Nickelodeon when I learned out there in Florida.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that in a few moments. But yeah, the tour aspect, I mean, the studio tour where the glass tube from up above, I could see you guys film. I mean,
Yeah,
what was that like, man?
it was awesome. I mean, obviously we couldn't hear them. There was a tour guide that was guiding them, but we got a chance to see them. We waved to them all the time. They came down, and it was awesome because I mean, I granted so many special Make a Wish kids dreams to come out there, see film live, take pictures of the cast and all the above, and I would do the tours, and so it was a pretty impressive and incredible process throughout the whole conversation, and that was you got a chance to interact with people, and see for me. I'm a people person, so getting a chance to see them people and talk to them, hang out with them, like it was incredible. Uh, the challenge was our show was not necessarily filmed live in front of a studio audience, So we shot it film style, which did not require an audience. So the only time we did get a chance to see people was when they actually walked through on the tours itself. And that's when that's when we turned up, type thing. So it was cool. But it was definitely on my end, and I'm pretty sure on the fans' end as well, who came on the tour. It was a very special moment that it was just marked. Like, wow, did not know that's how they got that. Did not know how they did. This is
Yeah, I
pretty,
mean, I went
pretty
there when
special.
I was a little kid myself, and it was just an amazing place to be at. The slime geyser and all of that good stuff. I mean, you were just happy to be there and be like, yeah, this is the place where Nick is made.
This is a place where Nick is made. I mean, you literally thought, like slime came out of that tower. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is the place where Nick is made. So, yeah, I think the Blue Man Group is there now, or somebody else. I don't know whoever is the hot meal of the day. But yeah, that was a spot, man. That was a spot. That's
Yeah.
crack crack.
So what was a typical day like being on set and working there for the show? Like, what did you guys have to do to prepare for an episode?
For us, it was like how was it? I mean, pretty much it was a couple of different processes because it all depends on what time you got called in to work. So typically, it required you to be in and work around 6 a.m., 7 a.m., something like that, early, very early. Too doggone early, if you ask me. But basically, getting hair and makeup, that was the first thing you did. Getting the wardrobe. After getting the wardrobe, you basically got a little snack, breakfast, etc. And then you went right to school. And then we at least did like 3 to 4 hours of school. And even if you didn't, the minimum I think was like 3 hours of school, but we did more school just so we could quote unquote bank the hours. So therefore, we have to go to school every single day. So if you did 6 hours of school and you wasn't needed on set, then that means you'd have to do school the next day or so forth and so forth. So it was a small trailer, about five of us. It kind of got boring, but it was awesome. We had a good couple of tutors that came in there. I think we drove two of them crazy. That's why we had so many that came in there. You know what I mean? And but anyway, it was good times. We had a good time. So it was five of us, and we do the school. Once school was done, and you go on set, we'll work, and after as soon as we finish working, then we'll go right to. This was the best part of working at Universal Studios Orlando, Florida, was the fact that you could be shooting. We say cut, all right, everybody, that's lunch, and you could go walk out about 100 feet and ride like three roller coasters, and then come back in an hour and go back to work. I mean, where else can you do that at? You can go ride on a roller coaster during your lunch break. You know what I'm saying? And the cool thing about it was since we had the Nickelodeon passes, that means this is before they created the front of the line passes. You went right to the front. You cut all the time. So there was never waiting in line, and anybody that with you would do it, and you would go and you was clowning. So we felt like we owned Universal Studios Orlando, especially me and Stacy. Stacy and I was always getting in trouble, going out there and taking off, taking taking uh, unauthorized rides.
Lucky you, lucky you. That's the good life right there. Did you have a favorite ride to go on, first of all?
Oh man, I think Spider-Man had just dropped. Spider-Man was an incredible ride at the time. There was another one. I'm trying to think. It was a green ride. I forgot what it was.
The
Those.
Incredible Hulk?
I'm sorry. The Hulk. Yeah, the Hulk. That was sensational. That just dropped, and it was. I think you even got stuck on that ride too at one point in time. You know what I mean? You got the Hulk grab on us, but it was awesome. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, I mean, the Incredible Hulk, yeah, I've been there quite a number of times. That's a big roller coaster. It's a really fun time. And you guys were really lucky because have Islands of Adventure there and City Walk because that's when
Yeah.
the whole theme park was shifted to two parks from the beginning when the park first opened.
Yeah, no, no, for sure. What I loved about Orlando, which you don't really get on the West Coast here. I mean, you kind of see snippets of it, but Orlando and Universal Studios, etc., really, really catered to the youth. So, like, even though we was young, I mean, we were definitely not drinking at the time, um, at all. There was actually quite a few other people though that were. that means there's clubs that let us in. So it's like teenage and youth night. And so there was like 16-year-old and 18-year-old. They were having youth nights all the time at City Walk or etc. And there was always something to do. And if you didn't know what to do, you could make up something to do. And it was very tempting there. So it was great. Shout out to the NAACP Orlando chapter. Shout out to like Dr. Phillips High School. Dr. P, what up? Which was right across the school. Literally, I went there and I was like, "Yo, can I throw a talent show?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So it was on and popping. So we had a good time. You know what I'm saying? It was good times. So,
I was actually just about to bring that up at one point because in the Orlando Sentinel article, you actually emceed a talent show at Dr. Phillips High School. And so, like, I guess you really must have cared about you really loved living and working there too. I think you really cared about you saw the talent there and the people there. I think you really liked it being there.
man, I love being in Orlando. It was some of the best times of my life, and it's kind of pre social media. I think the biggest thing of social media was like MySpace, and MySpace was just bubbling. So like nobody really didn't know how to use it other than personal usage. So it wasn't like Facebook or Twitter or none of that. And that's kind of what people like to say right now. Like, well, Willie G, people Nickelodeon, y'all had like 8 million views in an episode. Why don't have like the following? And like I think it's like people like yourself that seen it, know it, believed it, and like, dang, like, what happened to that? And I think that's kind of what happened with Orlando. Like, I love living there. It was incredible. So we did the Dr. Phillips High School talent show. I think I may have a tape of that or so. I'll send it to you. It was incredible, and it was like one of the first times I ever did it. It was almost a sold. I think it was a sold out. It was a sold out house. Like we did like in 2 weeks, and talent came out the wazoo. And that's the thing about Orlando at the time. You have to imagine that this was like the second Hollywood because you had NSYNC just came out of there, Backstreet Boys just came out of there, Britney Spears just broke from there. I mean, all these musical acts were breaking from there. So you had all these musical talent. Like it was a hub at the time. Like if it was like Atlanta in its heyday, that's what Old Town was. Orlando was at that time. So yeah, all these acts that were breaking. I mean, it was great. It was a lovely time to be living.
Yeah, it was claimed that second Hollywood at the time, Hollywood East, but it's not, unfortunately, not like that anymore. But still, yeah, the NSYNC, Britney, Backstreet Boys, O Town, they all got their start there.
Yeah, I mean that's where Old Town started from. Old Town started. That's a nickname. 'Cause that's what it's called. Orlando nickname is Old Town, and then you got like Party Lando 94.5, the party station out there in Orlando. It was good, man. It was fun. 102 Jams. Shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? That was a lot of fun back in the day. And then CBS they did a special on us too called the Good Kid special. So CBS out there, CBS Think 2 was out there. So it was look. We had such a good time, and that was I love Nickelodeon for that reason because I think compared to other, I would say young talent. Now specifically, I would say Disney across the board. Because after I left Nickelodeon, I went to Disney, and then and kind of got a chance to experience both sides of the fence prior to this social media boom. Um, it allowed you really to be a kid and really, really embrace you to be a kid and a young adult, and kind of helped you usher you into young adulthood, if you will. And they showed you how to handle fame. I mean, we had camps about it. We have books about it and all the above, and they show you how to handle fame and what to do and how to do it and talk and they really encourage you to go out there. They really encourage you to just explore, and that's what kids are supposed to do is like figure out who they are and like try new things and do stuff and do crazy stuff and say, oh, I got a booger in my nose, and just it's stupid to you and I, but it's a form of expression. And I think Nickelodeon did a really good job of nurturing the form of expression, especially for young adult actors. Let me tell you, it was a lot more fun working for Nickelodeon than it was for Disney. And that because Disney was just very strict, rigid, and strict. And like, I mean, we had a saying, at Nickelodeon, they pay you nickels and dimes, or you have a other choice, which is working for the rat and working for the cheese at Disney. You know what I'm saying? One of the two. So I'd rather get paid nickels and dimes and have a good time than working for the rat and trying to, get some cheese.
Yeah, it was cool to be a Nick kid back then. Nickelodeon, they really showcased what it was like to be a real kid just doing real average stuff like that, especially from back then. And nowadays it's not really like that. It's just all over about kids being, you know, unfortunately like teen singers and pop stars. That's what it's about now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. you know, I mean, but look, that's why I'm bringing back why I'm bringing back, G Block TV. Shameless plug. Let me put the shirt out there. Shameless plug coming at you here soon. And G Block TV is all about encouraging our viewing audience to dream big, think big, and live big. That's what it's all about. Encouraging them to entertain, educate, and motivate America's youth, and really having a great time. So really kind of taking the Nickelodeon concept, adding and infusing it with education or edutainment type platform, and games, music, videos, turning up, what I'm saying, doing what we do best, express it in whatever form or way that is, and that's why I respect Tyler the Creator, because he just comes out with stuff on his head like, yo, I want to have a video shoot of a chopper on top of the New York City State Empire, whatever. He just come out with the most randomness, but and then do it and execute and have fun. Like, so, I think that's what it is. It's just, we've kind of lost our way of being expressive, and I thank God for YouTube and other platforms that exist that have been expressive, but not necessarily on a big platform. And I'm hoping the G Block will provide that platform for them to be sensational.
I like it. And going back to Nickelodeon, like especially when you guys were being tutored and being around, there was only five of you guys, but also the cast of Taina was there. I'm guessing they were around the same age as you guys. You guys must have hung out a lot with them too, right?
We did. We did. We hung out a lot. I mean, we shared the same green room with each other, so we would see each other quite frequently. I mean, Tansy with her fine self. I mean, everybody was fine on that show. Them girls was fine. You know what I mean? But no, for real, we had a good time. The girls were really great. Dave Scott, who went on to do some incredible stuff, he choreographed. You got served, and I mean, tons of movies he done now that he didn't choreograph at this point. Dave, he was a head choreographer for Taina type thing, and yeah, it was cool hanging out with them. And our rival really started when Taina cheated. They cheated, son, cheated on Double Dare 2000. It's on tape. It's on tape somewhere. I ain't got tape, but it's on tape.
Oh
Just
yeah,
know that.
yeah, I've watched it. That was a fun ass episode, I must say though. You guys really had a ball shooting that too, it looked like.
We did. We did. And it was all about all about the community. It was all about charity.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was good times. We had fun, man. We had
Yeah,
fun.
I just wanted to know what was it like to get slimed, though?
Oh man, it was the best. I think the slime was actually, um, I think it was either applesauce or yogurt, one of the two.
Hmm.
It was applesauce, but it was great. It was edible. I do remember that it was edible. And it was pretty tasty, and it was one of the coolest things ever because that's what as a kid you wanted to get slime. You know what I mean? So that was awesome. I think I still have my shoes or something from when we got slime. But yeah, that was pretty incredible. Pretty good time. And shout out to Reebok for sponsoring everybody for all those shoes and gear and stuff.
Double Dare 2000 is shot in front of a studio audience, but Noah didn't have that. So, what advantages do you like shooting in front of the audience this time around?
We loved it. I mean, I think Ken had wrote my mom a beautiful letter at the end of the situation because me and we try to like encourage Ken like to really kind of utilize our youthfulness because but Ken, shout out to him because he really he had a different point of view about youth, what youthfulness meant, and what he wanted us to experience. And I think he really wanted us to experience a raw, virginistic, almost protective like state of like youthfulness, and kind of kept us in his bubble, which was great. The unfortunate part was we didn't get a chance to like connect with the studio audience, etc. And I think that's what Taina and a couple and like his other show, Clarissa Explains It All. That was a
No,
huge hit
Alex,
on Nickelodeon.
so I think that's what
I'm
you,
sorry, not Clarissa. Was it? It was
Alex.
Alex Mack.
Yeah.
Right. It was a huge hit on Nickelodeon. They had a studio audience, etc. And so it was just that's the part that we missed. But when we turned up on Double Dare 2000, I mean, everybody knew we should have had a studio audience because we would have killed it.
Yeah, it was one of the best episodes. So I loved it. I love watching that. I love watching it. And now, doing going back to the sound stages, I mean, those sound stages were huge. Was it like the biggest studio you've ever shot in? Looking back on it.
To this day, yeah, absolutely. It was technically there were movie size sound stages, so I think it was somewhere to the tune of like 50,000 square feet per sound stage, and I think we had two within Nickelodeon, and we had like a little mini theater in between the two of them, which the tour went through. And that's where we had like where we would slam a kid every day on our tour.
Yeah.
We'll sign a kid every day. So if you was a lucky kid that was on the tour, just having to come through, had no inclination, just went on Nickelodeon tour, you possibly got signed. And that was awesome too. That was really cool.
Yeah, I think and what would have been great was if one of y'all must have popped up inside the Gat kitchen and surprised one of the kids would be like, "Hey, what's up, you all? Y'all want to get
Oh
some?"
man, what are you talking about, Mr. Smith? This is what we do, son. We did that all the time. Like I mean, literally, if we wasn't out on a roller coaster ride, we would be donating time to Make a Wish, and they had a beautiful program out there where they had like another like smaller theme park for I forgot the place what the name was called, but for kids with disabilities, and they'll house their families for a whole week and take them to both parks, the Disneyland parks and Universal Studios. And so we would go there and come there. We'll pop up the Gat kitchen. We'll be the ones sliming people, man. We'll be
Mm,
hooking that slime up in the kitchen, son. You know what I'm saying? Who you think make it, man? Who you think makes slime, B? You know what I'm saying? It ain't Santa Claus.
Yeah, I hear you, Mr. Slime King. I hear you. You like that? Hey, man.
Love it. Love it.
But
Absolutely. No, it
unfortunately,
was good times, man.
it was good times, fabulous. But unfortunately, no one knows best. The show got ended prematurely. Like it didn't have a chance to grow. Like what happened? Like why do you think it got canceled so quickly?
Honestly, nah. Just like with anything, any other show out there, there's some amazing shows that will never see the light of day. That I've shot so many pilots, etc. But really, it comes down to politics and timing, and honestly, God's will at the same time too. Honestly, I think if we had any more of that situation, we probably would be uh, our cast would. Yeah, our cast is wild. Let me just say that. So. I'm glad the ride kind of stopped where it stopped at. It stopped for a reason for all of us. But to answer your question, what happened? I don't know what happened. Honestly, I believe politics was a huge part of it. Ken kind of did not share with me, but you can kind of see the veil behind the curtain. And the Nickelodeon executives, they just were it just they how can I say it? They just when you're used to a train of success and a way of how you ride that success, it's tough to depart to say that something else is successful and what does that look like and how that is described. Like for example, our shows were getting a minimum 8 million viewers back then. Today, that means our show will be like paramount because now today's shows are like what's successful is maybe 2 million, 3 million, 4 million people watching the show, an episode. Housewives, that's how they get, type thing, and they're successful. And look how many franchises they have behind that now. So I just think that we was a little bit ahead of our time too, because we were like the kid Seinfeld, man. You know what I mean? And kids are still watching that. They still wanted to see that. And as you can see, it was like right before Ravens and all this stuff, before the sitcoms came out of all that. It just was puppets. We didn't have no magic. We didn't have no tricks. None of that. But at the end of the day, we were just solid entertainment. We was dope. We was Noah. We didn't need to know. We didn't need to do none of that. No one knows best, and that's what it was.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Ken Littman said, the executives didn't really treat the show better. And yeah, you and Taina, you guys really needed more improvement. I mean, you guys were the shit, I must say. And sadly, there's not that many episodes of Noah online, so not too many people know about the show. And that's what sucks the most.
And the bad part about it is Ken sent me about maybe 6 episodes on a VHS tape, and I lost it. And I don't know where it's at. And that's the sad part about it. You're right, because there's not too many episodes online. There's a guy named Josh Lieberman. Shout out to Josh.
You know,
He reached out to me about the same time he reached out to me, Bilal, and he hit me up with like a couple like just samples of little something here and there. But yeah, I wish I could find them episodes. Man, if I could find them episodes, it'd be like gold amount of day. Because I get about an email every 2 or 3 months about, hey, weren't you the guy from Noah? Do you have any tapes? Can I see the show? I missed the show. I love the show. Blase, blase, and it just sucks. I didn't keep up with that. I did for years, and then now when people are actually when there's an outlet for it, I have no clue what's happening.
wow, wow. But I want to go back to what you said. Your cast was wild. Like, you have any stories to share? I want to know.
Oh man, this was yeah, this was some. You have to check it out. The unauthorized version of No One Knows Best, the show that was the show that everybody should have known. No, I mean listen. I mean you got to understand. You have Philip Van Dyke, who's from the Van Dyke family.
Hmm.
This boy drove a Ford Excursion. This is when the Excursion just came out. A Ford Excursion from LA all the way to Florida. And when he came out to Florida, I mean, I think Florida you could drive at 15 at the time, or legally or something. I think it was 15. This boy will drive a Ford Excursion, not Expedition, Excursion, and he would drive it like it was his own personal monster truck. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy driving on Daytona Beach and all kind of craziness. I mean, any particular stories? Not really. Not really that I can share. Let me just say
Okay.
that. Not really like to share. However, I do remember one clear moment when all of us were sitting together having lunch. I think it was lunch or a snack. We was all in the green room because in the green room they had like video games and all kind of cool things, popcorn machine, all kind of cool stuff, and we always in there, and we always kind of looked around and said, look, this is a moment we'll never get a chance to repeat ever again. No matter what, somebody may die, whatever the case may be, etc. But this is the moment we get a chance to share with each other, and let's have fun and let's enjoy it. And that was cool. And it was just good seeing everybody with the little smocks, which is like a little something that you put over top of your costume so you can eat. So something falls on it, you can get rid of that and not mess with that. So it was good times. It was good times.
Would that be one of your favorite behind the scene memories, that moment in the green room?
Yeah, I would definitely say that. It was also cool. My family had flew out. A lot of my family members have flew out. Now some of my family members fly out, and they enjoy themselves. It's one of the best memories they had of their life ever, type thing. So yeah, that probably will be the coolest moment right then and there. Was seeing that, and the second moment will be probably when we was on. I'm trying to think of that place called. We was at a steakhouse for the last episode, and we all sat there and was eating and just shared a nice little prayer with each other. Even though some of us were Jewish, some of us were Christian, some of us was, it was good just to see everybody smile. It was
Mm.
just good seeing everybody smile, and that was awesome.
Love
That's
it.
what it's all about. I mean, that it was hard not to smile when you was at Nickelodeon Orlando, Florida.
I love it. I love it. I think because when Hanson appeared and your background in musical theater, I just want to know, like, did you ever like to get to sing or do instruments with the band Hanson when they appeared on the show? You got to do something, man.
Nah, man, we didn't get a chance to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? We was trying to be like, the Pips in the background or something, but nah, they let us near Hanson. And them dudes had like a trailer 3 times bigger than mine. So I was low key jealous. Nah, I'm playing. Nah, actually, Hanson was super cool. They came out and they represented for us, and it was so weird because we at that time before Hanson came out with a small story, Taina was bringing in all kind of like musical artists. They had Joe and all kind of people. Like, man, we gotta get somebody on the show. Cool. We gotta get somebody. And then Ken Littman was like, "Don't worry, Willie G, don't worry. We got somebody. We got somebody." And who they bring? Mm, up, 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 up. They bring out Hanson. I said, ain't this something? I said, oh, we getting canceled.
Oh man, that's what's up. A three-time trailer. I would have been jealous too, but yeah, that song sticks in your head though, Bob. So hey,
It does. It does. It does. It does. Religiously. Religiously.
and
Yep,
do you
man.
keep in touch with anyone from the show?
No, I don't really. I mean, other than Facebook is really it. I know Dempsey's out here in L.A. I know Phillips out here in L.A. Ironically enough, I keep up with more of all that cast members than I do my own cast members, which is kind of fun. Like I just did a show with Angelique Bates.
Yeah,
I know Kel for years. Um, talked to Keaton about maybe 2 years ago or so. I was gonna head out to New York. I didn't go, but um, yeah, that's pretty much it. No, we
yeah,
haven't really talked.
yeah. I know you're friends with Angelique Bates, and also the cast from Cousin Skeeter too. You're friends with Robert and Megan.
Yeah, yeah, Robert, that's the homie right there, man. I love Robert Richard, Robert, and Megan too. Megan's a beautiful person, beautiful spirit. She's just I mean, she's just angel that God allowed us to have here on earth.
Hmm. Yeah, so I wanted to know, like, how great was all the staff who worked at the Nick Studios? Like, because I always hear positive stories.
Man, okay, yo, the staff was incredible. Shout out to Stan the Man. This is one that's gonna give you a bunch of stories because Stan the Man was a production assistant and he was incredible. Love Stan the Man. Really showed you how to be self-expression. Love Stan the Man. So Stanley Benjamin is his name. Shout out to Pam Turner. She took me in like family. I mean like family, like real family. And I forgot our security guard, really really husky Caucasian guy that was had a security had a security studio had a security amazing guy, absolutely. So he was great. Sandman, Pamela Turner, Ken Littman, and our script supervisor. That just goes to show you how much of a community that we all were. Was we were all family. If somebody fell or slept, etc., we would be there to help them pick themselves up. So it was nothing but love.
I think what made it work is because you guys were away from the LA scene, so it must have been a joy to like, film somewhere that's not typically Hollywood, and you guys could just be yourself, and in a way, just being in Florida all the time. It's just really a family-friendly atmosphere. It
Yeah, nah, for real, for real. It was away from the hustle and bustle of LA. Even though you missed LA, we missed LA. Don't get me wrong, but it was nice being there. You was a big fish in a small pond.
hmm Yes, it was, it was. And also, like, even though Noah ended quickly, like, still, how do you feel knowing that all of this stuff and the 90s Nick shows that were being taped at the studio and all of it, it still made such a positive impact on folks and it's still loved today?
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. Yeah, I was kind of a little disappointed. Again, it was politics because there's some people still at Nickelodeon that don't, like Willie G. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I ain't gonna say no names. But bottom line is, yeah, our show should have been one of the shows that they re-aired. Part of the old night. Nick is back and '90s mix up, etc. Because we were one of the number one hit shows on Nickelodeon for a long time. Um, so fortunate they feel that way, but it is what it is. I love the fact that the fans still love it and they still remember the show, and that we made a positive impact on their life, and they said, "Yo, we're a part of their childhood," which is great, and that's something you can't replace. Memories are forever. So
Yeah, I mean, this kind of resurgence of all of it lately, especially with the Slime book by Matthew Clixby. I mean, yeah, it was a good era in children's programming. That's what I'm.
it was, and it was a transitional one at that too. It transitioned from
Yeah, we know.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
And scene.
yes, yeah. But anyways, I just want to give you one last plug to G Block for one more time. Like, first of all, like, are you gearing towards a release date? Like, just give us a background of it one more time. G Block Network.
Yeah, absolutely. So, G Block TV coming soon. We partner up with Tribune Broadcast Company to take over Saturday mornings on Fox. And what that means is we're creating 3 hours of content for youth programming. targeted about ages of 8 to like 14 years of age, and so everybody used to watch kind of No One Knows Best. And we're looking to bring the funky back. We're looking to bring the good times back. We're looking to roll with it, roll. You know what I'm saying? So we're looking to have a great time. So the idea is to entertain, educate, and motivate America's youth, getting them to dream big, think big, and live big. And that's what G Block TV is all about. GBLOKTV.com. We just did a huge musical television special with Bobby Valentino, brought our old school friend Aaron Carter back to the situation as well. Jasmine Sisters and the Rangers all performed for us, which is incredible. We're working on a show right now, a musical special with One Direction. We're pretty excited about that, and so it's God is good right now. So hopefully, knock on wood and everything else, we'll be launching in fall of 2015 on a TV near you on Fox, baby. Whoa.
Whoa, love it. And it's going to be made of animation, live action shows too, all of that.
Yeah, animation, live action, sitcom. It's going to be a smorgasbord. It's going to be like YouTube for your television.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. I think this is important, man. I think I'm really liking it.
Yeah, my man. Well, I'm glad to hear that, family. I'm glad to hear that, and thank you for everything you do. Because I mean, I'm telling you, I literally shot a tour of Nickelodeon Studios in hopes that somebody would do what you're doing now. So I tip my hat out to you because you haven't stopped and you kept going, and even when people dropped the ball on you, like myself, you kept going, and I'm proud of you, man. Congratulations on that.
Thanks,
Shout out
man.
to you, Mr.
Thanks, brother. And I just want to have two more questions for you. But the Nick Studios closed 2005. Blue Man Group is still there. But for you, would you like to see it be reopened one day? Do you think it should come back?
Man, absolutely. If there's any chance that I am in that position of influence, that's definitely one of the first things I got going on. I mean, that's hence the reason why we created G Block because I was so inspired and uplifted. Like I don't want that time period to end. Honestly. So yeah, absolutely. So we created G Block TV in hopes that maybe we can do it out here at Universal Studios out here in LA or something like that instead of Slime and maybe I don't know, Glime. I don't know what what it might be, but maybe something else. But so, yeah, that's what we're coming up with. So we'll see what happens on our journey to bringing sexy back.
Yay. And finally, what do you think made it so great and special, Nick Studios, Florida?
Because you can touch it, you can reach out and touch it, and that's huge. Because a lot of times you couldn't. Like I said, at that point in time, just watching TV as a kid, you didn't know where TV was shot or who shot it or where you could go. I mean, heck, you didn't even know you could be a part of the studio audience for anything. So when you went to Universal Studios Florida and got a chance to see like where some of your favorite TV shows were made and possibly get slime or taste slime and all the above, that's what made it special. It became a special memory for everybody. And you get a chance to meet one of your favorite cast members or who somebody you just saw on TV. Like, oh my God, like it's incredible. So, and yeah, I wish social media was out then because if it was, we would have killed, we would have murdered for sure.
Mhm.
But we open
Yeah.
to this day. We would have our own theme parks.
Yeah, you just summed up. I mean, it's a way to like just reach out and see what you can do. I mean, there's no other place like it. I feel like it was just a monumental moment, and you almost feel like you were stepping into a fairy world. But instead, it was
Yeah,
Florida, beautiful Orlando, Florida, and you guys could do so much there that prohibits you from other places where production is shot predominantly. That's what I
indeed. Well said.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to create this just to documentaries to see that people it was a great place and it needs to be remembered in some sort of way. And with 83 interviews and now I have it. Yeah, but yeah, I
No,
just
I'm glad you did, man, because that's exactly it. It does. I mean, it does need to be memorialized. And we was there, I think, for the 100th episode, or I forgot what it was, but all the Nickelodeon executives flew out, and we had a huge cake. I forgot. I think it was 100th episode that was shot at the stage. Nickelodeon No Knows Best was there. And I think what was the last show shot there? What was the last show that shot there?
Black. That was in 2004 though.
2004. Yeah. So shortly after us, So uh, yeah, I mean, so it's definitely the special place that needs to be remembered. And that's awesome.
Yeah, it was because you guys and Taino, you guys were one of the last sitcoms to take there. But and you, like you said, that
Yeah,
was the transitional period of when the network was going towards animation, not live action stuff anymore.
right. Yeah, SpongeBob just came out, and SpongeBob never looked back.
Yeah, we'll leave it like that, definitely. But
Yeah,
it was so good talking to you. All right, well, I'm gonna let you go. I'll probably give you a call or text sometime, but if you'll answer though. But
yeah,
all
yeah.
right,
I know. Hey, you see, we got all these shows and stuff and ideas on the plotting out the cast and stuff. I just finished one cast, one show. I'm about to do another one. So, it's a lot of stuff at the office that we trying to be grinding right now. We got to launch a brand new network. So, definitely. But hey, I'm always a phone call away.
all right, perfect. All right, thanks, man. I'm gonna let you go. I gotta go too. So it was good talking to you, and I'll talk to you again one day. I'll let you know
Okay.
about the project too, definitely.
Please do. Keep me posted. Let me know if you need any help. I'll try to help you wherever I can.
All right, cool. All right, peace, Willie.
All right, Mr. Smith. Take care.
All right, bye
Bye.
bye.